Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Betty, owner and creator of Betty's Custom Design here on YouTube, Etsy, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Let me see if I can zoom this just a little bit without it messing everything up. Okay, maybe you guys can see. So this morning's tutorial, actually it's not a tutorial, it's more like a design with me, craft with me. It's not going to be that long, but I just kind of wanted to go through and show you what I'm working on right now and what I need to still do. Now, in my other videos, I've told you how I use Canva and Photoshop kind of together, and this is a prime example of this. This is a collection that will be in my Etsy store within the next day or so. And so I have used Canva to build this passport, the background. I can go over here and I have a bunch more elements to put on. And so if you can see, from where I imported the images, they come with like a black border around them, and I don't like that. Now, my Photoshop on my computer has the crop function, but I have not seen that function on my iPad. So whenever that happens, I'll just do it just like this. I'll bring it into Canva, and I will kind of crop it in Canva. I'll get it the way I want it. I'll get the sheets the way I want them. And then I will go into Photoshop to take the design a little bit further. So this one I'm going to crop a little more because that was just some white there that I didn't need. So this is all I'm doing. I'm just going through and just cropping the images the way I want them. I think I'm going to bring this on over a little bit more. We really don't need all of that, not for the purposes of what the paper that I'm using right now. So I just went ahead and cropped a lot more of that out. Now, one thing I am going to do is I love all of the stamps that's on these passports, and I am going to isolate those stamps and use these the stamps by themselves. So I will show you how to do that as well. But for right now, I'm just wanting to get rid of, you know, this background that you can see. And these are some cool images. I'm hoping that maybe Friday's video will be me showing you where I get some of the free images from that are royalty free and copyright free, because when you start doing this, you're going to need to make sure that the images that you use are royalty free and copyright free. If you have to start paying, you know, royalty fees and that kind of stuff, you're going to pay a fortune. And that just, you don't need to do that. There's ways around it. Now, right now, this paper looks washed out because all of this is the same color. I don't want that. So I'm going to move this for a moment, and I am going to bring, I'm looking over here. I wanted to bring something that has a little bit more color. It doesn't have to clash, but I definitely don't want everything to blend in together. Now I'm going to send this to the back like that, and I think I need to do something right in here. We'll worry about that in a little bit. Let me just go ahead and get rid of this image here because I don't need it. We'll get rid of that. I'm going to go ahead and export these as PNGs with transparent backgrounds, because we are going to use this in our Photoshop. So now that that's exported, we have these files are still individual in here in Canva, but for what I'm going to be working on in Photoshop, this is just one file. Each page is one single file. So it will be one layer. Well, now, you know what? I may be lying because I am exporting it as a PNG. So we may still be able to work in the different, we need to work on that because for some reason I'm thinking, yeah, we'll see, because there is sometimes that you can import a PNG into your Photoshop and still retain the elements of each one. So that could be the case. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to create new. Again, I already have my custom size set for 11 by 8.5 just because I've done it so much. I do have it as a white background. Okay, and then I like to get it down to where I can see it. So let's import that, and let's just see if it is in layers. No, it's not. It's the one layer. Okay, so this is our page. This is how it stands right now. And it looks, it's a very nice page, and I do like it. I absolutely do like it just like this. But I want more to it. So what I'm thinking at this point is, what do I want to do? And I know one thing that I believe I would like to do is I think I want to have some kind of journal area on it. And what I've got in mind, I am going to go into my files, and I'm going to import, I have some blank, vintage blank paper. And you know what? I think I might actually have some in my photos on my phone. Let me look. Because if I do, that would be pretty cool. I did. Yes, look at this. How beautiful. Yes. Okay, so now I have completely covered up all of my passport photos. Now, the next question you need to, when you're doing something like this, is do I want to have this lined paper as the main paper with the flowers poking out or peeping out, or not the flowers, I'm used to working in my florals, or with the passports poking out of the background, or do I want the passports to be on top and then this showing some? So that's the one thing that you need to decide. Let's work in it like this and see how we can make it look with the passports peeking out. If we don't like it, we can always delete it, and without messing anything up. Okay, so again, just like with any of the other times, I'm going to choose my brush over here. I am going to choose, I'm going down and I am choosing the brush that is called Landscaper. I am changing my color here to black, and then I am reducing my brush size down to about 50 is where I like it. Now I need to make sure right now my brush is set to normal. I want it set to clear. And then I do want to reduce the opacity some, and I'm taking it down to about 44 right this minute. Okay, so now let's just kind of get started. Let's just see what we want to do. And I will be back. Okay, guys, I'm back. My hubby got home and the dogs kind of go crazy, so I had to pause for a little bit. I need to get this opacity up a little more because I want it. If not, it's going to take me a while. So I am just going to go through and just randomly clear out some spots so that I can see some of the passport. And like I said before, I have no rhyme or reason to what I do. Let me enlarge my pencil a little bit. I'll take it up to about 90. And my little grip keeps sliding down. Ooh, I like that. Look, yes. Now we're getting some color in here. I like the way that's looking. I'm trying to keep my hand out of your view. Okay, now I'm going to reduce the opacity again, and I'm going to go through and get off some of the background of that the paper. I still want to be able to see the lines, but I want to get it a little bit more translucent. And then I want to kind of fade that because I had some hard lines right there. So I'm just going to fade it a little bit. Yeah, see, I'm liking how this is looking. I need to fade this right here too. I'm not happy with those really hard edges. And again, that's something that's personal preference. You may like the hard edges like that. I just don't, and I'm really not happy with that. So you know what I'm gonna do? Yes, okay, I'm gonna add another one of these pages behind it. And how I put it behind it is I just drag it to now it is below that layer. Okay, so let me hide this layer. I'm gonna hide it. So now I want to work on this layer because I want to get rid of some of those hard edges. And so I'm just gonna do the same thing that I was doing. I've got my opacity. I'm gonna reduce the brush size just a little bit, down to about 60. And so now I'm just going to go right in here and I'm just going to kind of knock down that edge. I need to bring my opacity up just a little bit. I think my opacity is right at 50 right now. And because I have that book page behind this now, you're not going to see the white paper behind it or the white background. And again, it's just, like I said, it's personal preference. I just don't like seeing these hard lines. And you're really not going to notice that much of a difference when you're looking at the paper. But it's just one of those things that I notice it and it bothers me. And so that's why I do it like this. And I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to stay out of the view of the camera, but I'm not always successful at that. And I'm liking the way that's looking already. So again, we need to do the same thing here. I'm just knocking down some of that hard line. Because I just really don't want to see it. Let me see if I can do this with my left hand. How on earth is this thing sliding down so much? All right, I'm gonna try and do it with my left hand so that you can see it a little better. Which I don't mind doing it with my left hand. I'm pretty ambidextrous, so I'm almost as comfortable in my left hand as I am my right. So that's a good thing. So now I'm just trying to take this down just a little bit. Okay, I'm liking that. So let me do the same thing here. And I'm sorry if I'm not talking much. That's what I do when I'm concentrating. I just kind of like zone in on it. That looks like a hard edge there. Okay. So I'm just trying to get rid of the hard edges there. Now I'm okay with this being a hard line right here because that's the seam of the book, so that's perfectly fine. Okay, so now we can go back. I'm going to go back and I'm going to unhide the top layer. Or I think I am. There we go. I don't know what I was doing. Okay, so now let's go back and continue working. And see, I don't see that hard line anymore, so I'm much better now. So I need to go over here. I'm gonna have to work with my left hand over here so that you guys can see. And I am just getting rid of a little bit more of it. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this watch off because I keep banging against the desk with it. Okay, so let me just see here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to go down here to linear burn. I am going to reduce my brush down quite a bit. I may actually go to darker color instead, but I'm going to do add paper texture. I think I am going to do darker color instead. Okay, and let's enlarge this a little bit. I'm going to reduce my pencil down to about 40, somewhere along in there. And now what this does is whenever I'm doing it like on the pink, make sure I'm on it. Oh, it's not going to work on this. I do this every time. I never can remember which one I want to do. That's not it for sure. Look what it's doing. Okay. Now I'm just going to go through, I kind of selected that color with my color selector. And so it's just really going to darken up that line. We could go right here. We could choose this really vintage color. And then I could come in right here. And I could really like, let me see, let me do a splatter and texture. Bring the size down a little bit. And I can really make this paper look old. And you know, it always wears more on the edges. So I can do that up here. And I'm really going to get that burn on it right there. Same thing here. I'm just going through. Okay. Now I'm going to bring it down a little bit because I actually want to do a couple of little burn spots through here. And if you notice, it'll only like pick up on the color. that's still there. So it really does make it look like the page is frayed, because there's nothing for it to adhere to, where I have taken away, erased all of that image, because even though you see something, it's the underlayer that you're seeing. So it's not going to attach to the underlayer. That's the one good thing about working in layers. So I could bring this on around and make it really look like it was torn, but I'm not. I think what I'm going to do now, let's put some images on here. And let's just see what we have. Let me go back. Let me just go to my downloads here. All right, I'm going to go to my downloads, and I'm just going to see what I may have. And these are some pretty images, and we can use some of these. Let's just pick one. Okay, we picked one. All right. Because this may be one, I may end up using this in my daisies collection. I'm not sure. We'll just see how it looks. So I've got my brush back on clear again. I'm working on the pansy. Or, yeah, the pansy. What did I say? Daisy? God help me. And again, we need to make it the black. Bring the opacity up and bring my brush size up a little bit, because if not, we'll be here all day long working on that pansy. Okay. And I'm just wanting to grunge it up a little bit. I don't want it to totally blend into the background, but I don't want it to be like setting on top of the background, if that makes sense. I just kind of, I want it to look a little weathered as well. Okay, now let me get another pansy, because I'm take this thing off. I don't know why it is sliding so much. Okay, I'm sorry, that probably sounded awful right up there in the camera. Okay, I think I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to knock down those edges. I just really don't want to see the edges. So even right through here, I need to knock the edges down a little bit. So I'm going to reduce my opacity, because I don't want it to take it away, but I don't want it to be so bright. I hope that makes sense. You can hear my husband coughing back there. We were out in the yard all day Monday doing paper, and both of our allergies have been giving us a fit. I'm just going to knock down a little bit of that color because it's a little too bright for this paper. Now I can go up a little larger, do it a little better. Yeah, see, I'm liking that. Now let's see. Let's see what else we want to put in here. What about, I'm just looking at, this is the hardest thing for me, is because I can be so indecisive. I mean, like crazy indecisive. Maybe too much. Let's try it. I mean, it can't hurt. I can always take it off. What about if I like really knock that down quite a bit? I think that's what I may do. Yeah. Okay. I'm just knocking this down a little bit. Maybe a lot of bit, but you know what I mean. And I really need to get it out here because that's where my passport that I wanted to show is at. So I just increase the opacity some. Well, I was working away, guys, and I thought I had you guys on camera, and I didn't. So I don't know what all we missed. All right. So I reduced I just took out some of this and this, the flowers there. I think what I do want to do now is maybe some kind of a text. And I'm going to go to my Dropbox because I have some text saved in there. And let's just see what we want to do. Let's try this one. Yes. If they keep on, I will pause the video. Now let's take this below. Let's bring it below the flowers. But we want it above that. So you can see the text just a little bit. So let's go back to this layer. Choose the brush again. And I'm going to get rid of a little bit of it right through there. So that you can see. I'm so sorry, guys. So I'm just getting rid of a little bit more of that paper in just little spots so that you can really see some text coming through. Now I think it needs something else. It's still, I don't see it being done yet. And again, I never know when it's done until I see it, and then it's like, okay, I'm done. So it's acting like it's gonna give me a fit. So let's just see what I have in my downloads. You know what? Something like that would be pretty, but that's my watermarked images, so that's not going to help. And I don't know why my Dropbox does this, so this is what I have to do. I'm just going to do it like that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to exit out. That's one thing I like about Photoshop, is it has like an auto-save feature, so I don't really lose anything. Okay, so now let's try this again. Dropbox. Really, Dropbox? Fine. Okay, so Dropbox is being ornery. Let's see what we can find that we can put in here that is on the files. Let's see what we have in the photos. I have noticed this with Photoshop. It does get hung up a lot of times. Every now and then they will do a bug fix, but it still has its little issues. So, you know, not a lot I can do about that. I just try to keep on working through it. Ooh, look how that looks. Wait a minute, let me select that and let me bring it down. No, but I really want it underneath the flowers. Okay, now let me get my brush tool again. Let me get rid of some of the edges. And again, you know, like I said, I really don't know that something's almost done until I look at it and I'm like, oh, okay, that's it, I'm good. Okay, so now the one thing I do want to do, let me slide that over just a little more. Okay, so now I do want to reduce the opacity, and I want to take out just a little bit of that color because it's real dark. And I don't want to take all of the color out because I do like it being that dark, but at the same time I don't like it being that dark. So I'm just increasing the size of my brush and I'm decreasing the opacity again. And like right here where that flower is, I think I'm going to go a little harder. I just want one thing over here, and I don't know what I want. But it just feels like it's missing something right there. And that may be what it was missing. And I'm just going to bring that down below that, like that. Now I am going to work, well, let me get rid of a little bit more. I'm working back on that little ticket because I want to get rid of a little bit of that. Okay, now I'm going to go and I'm choosing that layer. And again, remember, I don't like to see the hard edges. So I'm just really getting rid of those hard edges. And I did like this, so we're going to kind of erase her a little bit. All right, guys, I think that's it. I think I'm done. So there you have it. This was how I, this is how I often work. I'll use Canva and Photoshop, like I did with this. But I am just going to export this and take it into Canva to finish up working on my the kit that will be hopefully on Etsy this evening. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, guys.